If you've had a tarot reading before, you've probably had the experience where someone is just kind of downloading or channeling different information, either from spirit, from a particular angel or a deity or a guide or something along those lines. And if you're kind of learning how to do tarot, you look at that and you go, wow, that's really cool and fascinating and interesting. I want to do that. How can I incorporate that into my tarot practice? What am I supposed to be doing? And the answer is probably not what you want it to be. It's not specifically really card related, and it's more so of a spiritual practice related. When you are a spiritual person, you incorporate a bunch of different practices as you're going along. You learn different things, you level up, and you start to connect and tap into spirit in a different way than you may have before. And if you continue to do this work, the connection gets stronger and deeper, and you are able to really obtain more information. Now, this can come from, like I said, connecting with spirit itself. Sometimes you really get drawn towards particular energies or deities in the community that you're working in, or the style of spirituality that you're working in. So you might develop personal relationships with these energies and divine information from them that way. You work together. For me, I have different guides that I work with for different occasions. And these are the people that I call in specifically, depending on whatever the task or the job is that is needed. So when I'm doing a tarot reading, I'm using my intuitive abilities. Some people call them psychic abilities, but I use all of these in order to help me get information from specific things like spirit. So really, it's not about like working with the tarot cards and the tarot cards are going to somehow form that connection for you. It's sort of a separate thing. You have to have a spiritual practice as well. Now, if you don't have that, your intuition may tell you some things about the cards. I fully believe that. I've taught people to read tarot who have no experience, and their intuition is telling them really profound things about the cards as they're going through. However, if you want that connection to spirit, if you want that lifeline, so to speak, it's other work that has to be done outside of your tarot practice. I know that's not what a lot of people want to hear, because they want it to be a little easier, like, oh, well, where's the formula? Like I do A, B, C, and D, and then this is what happens, and I get this connection, right? And it's really one of those things that takes time. It's a journey. You get out of it what you put in. So if you are constantly really working on forming that connection, then that is something you will be able to incorporate into your practice. Now, I'll kind of share with you a little bit about my tarot journey and how I started, so that you have one example. Everyone else's journey is a little bit different, but at least you might have something to kind of compare and contrast to. So when I started out, my first thing was I just learned the meaning of the cards. I learned the upright and the reverse meanings. And after that, sometimes I would get certain feelings or impressions about a card, using my intuition, but my psychic abilities were not, or my intuitive abilities were not really fully developed to the point where they are today. I will read very differently today than I did at the beginning. You would have gotten a more basic reading from me had you come to me at the start. Now I do all sorts of stuff. I'm hearing all sorts of messages, getting all sorts of impressions, different things will come to me as I'm meditating and preparing for the reading, different messages that way. So, there's a lot of different things I offer now that I was not able to offer at the start. But the way that I developed that was I kept taking classes on things that were interesting to me. I kept buying books and reading and studying subjects that I thought were fascinating or that I was just simply drawn to. And so you really have to kind of pay attention to those things and be studying and be working in other areas. I use all of my intuitive abilities, all of my clairs, right? My clairvoyance, my clairaudience, my clairsentience. I use all of those clairs. Those are different things you can develop as well. I've got some videos and stuff on those if you want to know specifically what they are, but developing those and working on those and training in the ones that you feel most compelled to kind of dive into. So I hope that was helpful. I know it seems like a lot, but it's supposed to be fun, right? So make it fun. Study the things you think are interesting. Don't study it just specifically to I need to get this. Go towards the areas you're drawn to and really develop your intuitive senses, and then just see what transpires from there, because the world will open up for you. The spiritual world will open up, and eventually you really will be able to do those things with the cards. You'll get those messages in the ways because you have already pre-trained your abilities. They're already moving and firing on all cylinders, whether you're doing cards, whether you are going to the supermarket, whatever you're doing, they are ready to go. It's sort of like if you learn how to drive a car. You can drive any car that you want, and you don't have to remember the skill set. It's automatic. You just get in and you automatically know what to do. And it's the same thing with this ability. So I know sometimes people don't really explain that very well, and it seems like this very fascinating mystical thing that happens, like where are they getting the message from? And honestly, it's just the time that they've put in. So if you have any other questions on this, please let me know. Until next time, thank you guys so much for watching, and have an absolutely beautiful day.